We're going to get into the very big upset, the Thomas Massie congressional primary. For Donald Trump and the Israelites, the Zionists, show their true fangs. He was taking on Israeli lobby and that traitor known as Donald Trump. Many now see him for what he is. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Real Deal Media's finest late night update. Tonight is Thomas Massie versus the Epstein class. Yes, it is. I am your late night host who is feeling quite energetic tonight here. Yes, I am, as tonight is Thomas Massie versus the Epstein class. Yes, it is. Jim Fetzer is going to be joining us here tonight as we're going to get into the latest results, the poll results from a primary race that is now being considered the most expensive race, as the Israeli lobby put $30 million into an empty suit to defeat Thomas Massie. How illegal is this? You want to talk about interference in election interference? Excuse my dyslexia. It's pretty lavish tonight because I'm pretty pissed off. I'm pretty pissed off, and so is Jim Fetzer. But let me tell you first here, we're going to be getting into that, as well as some of the other primary races, as now we have some of the figures now coming in for a lot of these people. God. And I'll tell you, we have now the governor's races. We have things coming in just for that as well. We have the numbers coming out. We have some senators, some MAGA back. Can I even say MAGA anymore? I'm so sick of that. Who now just won. We're going to be talking about that, and as well as some new headlines coming down as the IRS are now dropping their audit against Donald Trump, where I'm sure the MAGA QAnon pundits out there are going to say this is such a great thing, and here's what Trump's going to do about it. Let me tell you something. I'm so sick of the so-called peers in this industry. Let me tell you, and I sincerely mean that. The people that have been lying and telling people what they want to hear for hopium, they can kiss my ass. I've been quiet enough. I've always invited a huge tent of people to come to Real Deal Media, whatever's left of it. And no judgment, but you go against you go against the narrative of what people are, in certain columns of this industry are saying. You're branded a traitor, just like they're calling people like Tucker Carlson a traitor, people like Candace Owens a traitor, people like me, Mike Adams, Jim. They can kiss my ass because they want a civil war in this country. They do. That's why they're stacking the cards against the precious Israel. They're going to be met and dealt with accordingly. Remember that. Remember it. Because I'm so livid right now. Okay, so anyways, we're going to be talking about that. And plus all the insider stock trading. I mean, it's so just undeniable anymore. What's that punk's name? What can Mr. Bandino Rodriguez, what is he spouting off through his stupid mouth? Or you got to go through his paywall to hear it. Bunch of untalented punks they are. And I got people telling me, get your head out of your ass. This is a great thing. You should listen to these people. No. They should listen to people like that are real with their finger on the pulse. What's really happening. And it sickens me. But let me tell you a few things before Jim Fetzer joins me in my new ritual here of just how full of our grievances here tonight. And how and the illegal activity that went down in Kentucky is so brazen and so brass. And these people in the so-called White House don't care because there's about 100 pardons coming. About 100 pardons coming, June 15th to be exact. The 80th birthday of the traitor-in-chief who's going to pardon his sons. Yeah, you watch. All the criticisms of the past couple years, all null and void because everybody got played. And when you realize you got played, then you get angry, then you get good, and then you get next to me, and then we really take this country back and start popping people's heads like cherries. Politically, though. Pinky up. You see? Jim, I need a Valium. I need Valium now. Okay, so let me tell you about, before we bring Jim on here, who's doing push-ups in the background. If you're just getting here, if you're new, if you were just born this morning or last night, this is what happened. United States Representative Thomas Massie loses Kentucky GOP primary to Ed, who gives a frog Gallerin, in another victory for Donald Trump, the man who betrayed everybody. How does that make you feel when I say that? Do I piss anyone off? Yeah, good. I hope I do. That's my job. All right. So, anyways, yeah, he lost. Lost. He lost. And by the way, the Republicans now, the GOP, that's the Israeli party. That's Israel first. I'd rather vote for my sneakers from high school PE class before I vote for a GOP traitor. In fact, why vote anymore? What a waste of time. They can't even bribe people with free donuts to vote. Anyways, let me tell you here before I completely lose. So Donald Trump, who is now boasting and gloating. Let me tell you what went into this. Right here. This was, before I tell you what happened, this was yesterday, last night. You might have seen this all over the place. The man who can't put his pen down. Well, here it is. Here's Trump, the worst congressman in the long and storied history of the Republican Party is Thomas Massie. He's an obstructionist and a fool. Vote him out of office tomorrow, Tuesday. It will be a great day for America, President DJT. How about the worst president in the history of the United States? How about that? How about that? How about I throw this and launch it like John Elway outside of this? How about that? Anyways, let me get through this before I bring Jim up here. Well, yeah, Trump handpicked and endorsed who cares? He endorsed a dead corpse who loves Israel and humps a wall every other year with Trump, who has been pretty much edited out of the Epstein files, in case you don't know. And you should read them out there, see what they say about them. Anyways, in recent weeks, several other Republicans have been defeated by Trump-endorsed challengers, including Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Yeah, no relation there. And several Indiana senators who defied him on redistricting. Okay, so Massie, who served, he's lost. After losing, Massie took the stage before a fired-up crowd and cheered, "No more wars." You might have heard about that. I'll tell you what, yeah, we did hear about it. It is quite sickening. But he lost, and you know what? He didn't make a big stink about it. I don't know why. So after that happened, Massie criticized the unwavering, just sycophant, cult-like worship of Trump and all the people in Congress and all the people that support Trump still, because, somebody said to me, and a viewer said, and, I'm not mad at viewers, because if I express any sort of dismay, people just go run off, and so it doesn't matter anyway. They're no longer here. But somebody said, well, if there's one thing that Trump's at least doing right, he's taken down the deep state. Naturally, the follow-up question is, exactly how? And then the answer to that is, well, here's a link of a 3-hour podcast. Happy hunting. And then there's your answers right there. So anyways, so now here's a quote. If the legislative branch always votes whichever way the wind is blowing, then we have mob rule, he said. But if lawmakers follow the Constitution, we have a republic. This is from Massie. Massie signed off. Well, I don't want to tell you what he said, but because I have a video now. This is also a candidate, Thomas Massie, who the Israeli lobby and Trump, who's Mossad, as we told you about. Forsetti, our EU insider, said he's Mossad. Forsetti was in the inner depths of England, but also the Trump campaign of 2024, and saw things he wasn't supposed to see. And he told me, and he told this audience that, yeah, Trump's Mossad. There's no victim here. He's been going along to get along and suckering everybody who sees it. And he doesn't give a pie in the sky. Now, the primary turned white hot now in the final stretch of the campaign. Massie recruited a whole host of other Republicans, including Representative Lauren Boebert, in an attempt to show voters that vote for him was not a vote against Trump. The president, in turn, ratcheted up his social media attacks, as I just showed you, as calling Massie, quote, an obstructionist and a fool. And the best part is, since the empty suit guy never debated Massie once because the fix was in, he brought to the stage to campaign for him Defense Secretary Pete Megadeth. Wow. I hate that piece of shit. How about you? Is that something? Here's what Massie said, and we'll bring Jim on after this video. Check this out before I just really turn into Rambo.
What happens in 2028? You want me to run for Congress again? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's somewhat refreshing. Anyways, I want to bring on a potential running mate for Thomas Massie in 2028. You know him as the RDM political analyst. You know him as crooner. I know him as future VP. The one, the only Jim Fetzer. Jim, welcome to Late Night Update. What a hell of a night.
Dean, you could see the pain in Massie. This is a super good guy. I mean, if you had him as your representative, you'd be bursting your buttons. You'd be so damn proud. They weren't going to give him up. I don't give a damn how much money they spent. They had all kinds of phony shit going on there. They had some video of him walking hands in hands with what?
AOC.
AOC and Elon Omar. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I saw it coming. Here are the proofs. The major polling outfits weren't there. Here you got the single most important primary in the country, and the major polling firms were not there. It was some very obscure firm. And when I saw they were saying it was neck and neck, or this guy was 7 points ahead of Massie, I knew it was bullshit. It was bullshit. So what they did, Dean, they used these phony polls to prime the pump when they're going to steal the election. And I think it's this simple. The votes that were cast for Massie were counted for the other guy and the other way around. It was real simple, real simple. Now, there is a way of testing that hypothesis. You know, if we still had exit polling, they should have had exit polling there. One district, they should have had exit polling, but because the bastard at the top is undermining the guy who's the most representative of what he originally stood for, as Massie himself said, you know, all the position I represent are the same one Trump represented 2 years ago, before he became major Zio mass murderer, take out Iran for Israel when it posed no threat to the United States. I mean, he's all in for BB. It's just disgusting, Dean. Disgusting. He may have done more to destroy America than any other president in our history. In fact, than all of them combined. We may not get out of this intact, frankly. The other you could do is do a survey. Do a survey of everyone. Just ask how did they vote? We're only talking about what? What's the actual population of the district? 35,000 or something? That should be a piece of cake.
Jim, he was getting more.
You're going to find Massie won the thing running away.
Yeah, Jim. That's exactly it. Massie was getting more donations, $50 donations, with more people than whoever this warm body, as Donald Trump described it, Jim. But I want to show you this clip because it's now saying that never before has the Secretary of Defense done a campaign stump, which many have said it's illegal for a sitting officer to do such thing. We can discuss the legalities of that, but check this clip out. I want to get your take on it.
America First. Thomas Massie becomes the face of that politically.
This civil war in the party has gotten so out of hand. They sent the Secretary of War to my district today to campaign against me. I don't think that's ever been done.
It's also illegal.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure, but it's insane. Like, we're in the middle of a war. Why should the Secretary of War come to Kentucky? I say it's because I'm harder to beat than Iran, and I don't even have a nuclear weapon. That's because the weapon I have are the people behind me. We talked about money raised, and I took objection with the fact that he was raising money. He's the warm body. Literally, the president calls him a warm body from central casting. That much I agree with on the president, who was just recruited. The money was already there for him. What's shocked me and surprised me is we've raised like $7 million, $50 at a time, from tens of thousands of donors. I never expected this to galvanize.
Qualities of this man that I admire. He's worth 100,000 Donald Trump. Donald Trump is worthless. Donald Trump is garbage. Donald Trump has sold out America. Donald Trump never gave a shit about you and me. He has sold us out for Israel. I say to hell with him. To hell with him. I'm quite disgusted, Dean. I am disgusted.
Jim, I'm more disgusted than you. I are equal to right now. I hope to God people can hear me. If not, please let me know, because I am so infiltrated on so many levels, Jim. But here's I want to talk about that, the legalities of this. Since when does the Defense Ministry of War campaign for an unknown nobody? These people are traitors, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's the Hatch Act that precludes doing what he did. Federal law limiting the political activities of the executive branch, federal employees, as well as certain states, EC, and local government work with federally funded programs. Primary goal to prevent partisan abuse of federal program, protect employees from political coercion in the workplace. I don't think it was legal for him to do this. Regardless of political official, covert employees, that would include the Secretary of Defense for sure, cannot use their official authority or influence to interfere with or affect the outcome of an election. There it is. Hatch Act. This guy, Hegseth, violated the Hatch Act as blatantly as it's ever been violated in the history of the country, I guarantee. There it is, Dean.
Interesting.
He violated. As the reporter said, it was illegal. And it was illegal. Totally. But he's so disgusting. He's such a mediocrity. You know how many people came? It was like 60, 70 people came to hear Hegseth. Nobody gives a shit about Hegseth. Nobody gives a damn.
Look at this, Jim. This guy who apparently won, he's equivalent to, what's her name? Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, who never debated Carrie Lake one time. You know what I mean? Right. But check this out. Look at this guy. He got 15 million. This punk ass right here, Ed Galerin, fucking traitor right here, got $15 million.
That's all AIPAC money. You want to talk about foreign interference in our election, as you were saying in the beginning, there is 50 million. You know how much Massie got? Zero, zilch, nada, none.
Yeah, I'm with Dan Bilzerian, Jim.
Who do you think this Gallen's going to be voting to support when he's got 16 mil from AIPAC? Who do you think? America or Israel? Who would you want representing you?
I'd rather have Bozo the Clown representing me than any of these people. But Jim, here, obviously, Jim and I are very upset. If you couldn't tell, if you're just joining us. But Jim, I'm with Dan Bilzerian. There's no damn arrest of the past 10 years. Think about this. Since Trump came in office, no arrest. The only arrest was Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 when he was going to go with Michael Wolff and go public and go rogue from Mossad and tell the truth about his real relationship with Donald Trump. Then Barr arrested him, Elton Barr. Then they killed him in jail or shortly thereafter. That's even according to our insiders in the EU. You know, because, people, I don't just give cryptic clues like all these other assholes out there. Just, well, it looks like Trump looked at his watch at high noon. That means there's going to be the White Hats arresting everybody by Sunday. And then this is going to happen. Oh, look at the way Trump's walking like a penguin. That means the arrests are coming soon tonight, Jim. Can't you see it? Watch the waters, Jim. I'm getting real pissed. I'm not even getting real pissed. I am. But Jim, here, I want to talk to you about this too, because, and then I have a full, towards the end of tonight, we can watch the full 3-minute disclosure of not disclosure, but the final stump message of Thomas Massie, Jim. But people like Tucker have been going to bat for Thomas. a man, by the way, who I met in 2018, a fine guy, just a very upstanding guy. He's not about the bling. But everyone went to bat, Jim. Everyone went to bat for Thomas. Even Marjorie Taylor
Oh,
Greene.
she's wonderful.
I
Yeah,
want
she's
to say her
wonderful.
name is. Okay.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Check this out, Jim. Check this out.
Where President Trump is claiming that Thomas Massie votes for men and women's sports and votes for transing kids and all of this insane garbage.
Jim, you there?
Yeah.
I don't know what
It's
happened.
just
I don't know what happened.
It's just buffering.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
buffering.
I have
Marjorie's
seen
wonderful. But
She
but
is.
the fact is, the people of his district knew Thomas Massie. They were proud of Thomas Massie. They did not give him the boot for this empty person, this cipher. There's nothing to be said. He didn't even have the balls that obeyed Massie because he knew he'd be wiped.
So here's my understanding of what went down, Jim. And if I lose everybody, it's somebody's fault. Is there was a $30 million campaign waged against Thomas Massie, who's always won his district by 80+% every single year, every single time, every couple of years whenever this happens. But this is what I don't understand is they were targeting 65-year-olds plus, because Jim, those are still that's the demographic 65 and older who still watch Fox News. Fox News is complicit in this war. They're complicit in the cover-up. They're complicit in the silencing of victims. They're complicit in the unholy union with Israel. That's who they targeted. This is their last stand. Right on the heels of Ben Shapiro losing all of the Daily Wire and telling people to kiss his ass. I'm going to rip his eyebrows off. Jim, what do you think about that before we get back to MTG? Because I can't handle it anymore.
Fox lost me when they booted Tucker. Tucker was drawing $6 million a night. And then Fox let him go. I mean, I knew something was completely wrong with Fox. And now Tucker draws these huge audiences for his own network. I mean, Tucker is continuing to fight the good fight. But Fox is basically just a propaganda organ. But now so is CBS. I mean, the Zionists bought up CBS. So a once great network is another propaganda organ. And what, they took over TikTok too, Dean? It's just a disgrace. It's just that they are not going to win in the end. The internet is making a huge difference. People are perceiving the vicious, sadistic role of Israel in exploiting America for its own benefit and leaving us behind. They could care less about you and me. They just want to benefit from America because we're gullible enough to allow ourselves to be played by con men of the caliber of Donald Trump.
Jim, clearly, look, even people that didn't like Trump and tolerated him somewhere on the border, everybody across the board has said this is a drastically different person. People did not vote for this. They voted for no wars. They voted for transparency. They voted for the release of all the files. This is totally 180 of everything people could have even imagined happening, and it happened so fast. So, I can't blame voters. Hey, when people voted for Obama, they thought the constitutional lawyer, he's going to get us out of war. He went to Syria. People voted for Bush. Bush said no more nation building. I mean, so, just shy of a revolution, which in a civil war, people, all they have is voting. But Jim, we're headed towards civil war. I can tell you that right now. And the militias better take note of every traitor in that House of Congress, every traitor in that Senate that is Israeli agents, agent provocateurs, saboteurs, and enemy combatants in our own House of Congress. We better take note who these people are, and you got to round them up, because you know why? They already called for rounding up. People like Laura Loomer and all these bastards are seriously calling for the roundup of Americans. We need to beat them to the punch. Stop playing defense around here, damn it. Here's MTG. Here, and we'll get Jim's take on that.
So I just saw a video where President Trump is claiming that Thomas Massie votes for men and women's sports and votes for transing kids and all of this insane garbage that the president is unfortunately lying about Thomas Massie. And here's a quick story for you guys. I thought this was worth sharing. President Trump is going this week, actually, to Mike Lawler's district in New York in support of Mike Lawler. Well, here's some facts. Mike Lawler hated Donald Trump, hated him when he was running for president. Used to make fun of him all the time, mocked him, would come up and make fun of me for supporting the president. Well, I thought you guys should know, if you really want to know about voting records, it was Mike Lawler and 3 other Republicans that voted no to my bill, Protect Children's Innocence Act, that actually makes it a felony to perform gender-affirming care on children, anybody under the age of 18, which, by the way, is one of the president's executive orders. It's a big deal to President Trump. Well, Mike Lawler voted no to my bill, which is taking a hard stance against President Trump and his executive order. And Thomas Massie voted yes for my bill, which is in support of President Trump's executive order and in support of stopping gender-affirming care, transing of children. So the more you know, the more truth you hear, the better you are able to see exactly what's going on. Get out and vote for Thomas Massie.
Work. And Jim, she might have the right idea. I think we should all go to Costa Rica and run for office. You know what I mean?
Well,
right, Jim?
I'm a huge fan of Marjorie. I think a Marjorie ticket would be a sensation. And we got to get rid of the old two-party. It's so corrupt. And, you know, I think the Republicans are going to be wiped at the midterm over the war, but the Democrats aren't any better. So, you know, how does that benefit the nation?
Well,
if Trump were to be out, the best thing that could happen in the country, I think, would be for Trump to be out of office. Could be the 25th Amendment. He could resign for reasons of health.
It won't even make a difference, Jim. You have J.D. Vance, who's already cozying up to Adelson, AIPAC. If not him, they have Marco. And until Israel's dealt with and we cut the umbilical cord, we are doomed. We are a captured country. We're captured by corporations. We're captured by Israel and the military and Jewish lobby. Period. All right? That's what it is. Trump goes to China. He goes to China hoping that China will buy some more treasury bills. No, they're dumping treasury bills right now, everybody. The gas, I told everyone last night on World at War, has gone up 56% since the stupid war of aggression started. Worse than Vietnam, 56%. There's people in the United States right now in America that are not eating because they can't afford to. So don't tell me that's part of the plan. Don't tell me that, short-term pain for long-term gain. No. Not maybe for you, but not for other people. So he goes to China. China tells him, no, we don't want to invest anymore. Then he asks China for more missiles because China, to make the missiles that we need now going forward, China, we need the minerals, the land minerals to make them. Guess who owns all the minerals around the world? China, majority. We can't make them, and China won't sell them to us. Next thing you know, Trump's calling off the attacks that he had planned on Iran for the next day. He's not just crazy, everybody. It's an act because when the war crime trials come up, he can say insanity, or even better, fake his own death, which he probably wants because he got the statues everywhere. You see how this works? Go ahead, Jim.
Well, those statues, that arc, even the ballroom god, the sooner his name comes off of the Kennedy Center, what an insult. The man's an egomaniac and he's lost his sense of reason, balance, perspective. He's taking this out on Thomas Massie. JFK got it right. He said those who make peaceful reform impossible make violent revolution inevitable. And peaceful reform involves being able to blow off your opinion and say what you think. Freedom of speech, freedom to petition your government, support your candidate. They are bottling us up in a way that's going to lead to revolution. I think Jack had it exactly right. And Trump and his Zionist masters just don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
Jim, as I proved last night, and I'm putting out the single tonight, everybody, all the intersection cameras in your local neighborhood, right outside the neighborhood, when Jim goes around his corner and then he goes to the coffee shop for donuts, he has to stop at the intersection. All the cameras we showed everybody are owned by Motorola Solutions, which is owned by who? Vanguard and BlackRock. The headquarters of Motorola Solutions are in Tel Aviv, everybody. It not only captures your cars, your license plate, but your facial identification, your social media status, who you're talking to, who you're connected to, where you've been, and has a whole profile on you. So everything you've seen and some of the people even cheered for happening in Gaza and to the Palestinians was the beta test to bring here to the United States, just like they were bringing some of the social crediting score technology from China that they beta test to bring here. That's what this is. Now, when you hear Trump getting rid of all the Chinese Huawei and all that stuff, great. Oh, and taking back the media, the hostile media, awesome. But then giving it to the Israeli lobbies or the best friends of Bibi. No, everybody, we got treason in this country, and it is loud and clear and crystal as day. Go ahead, Jim.
No, Dean, you're spot on. You got it right.
Flock cameras.
I am just so dismayed. I'm virtually despondent over this. I mean, America is proving itself to be a political shithole. Shithole. Under Donald Trump, he's turned America into a political shithole. I don't like that. I was sucker enough to vote for the guy 3 times. I couldn't have supported his competitors, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris. These are morons. They are corrupt. Obama. I mean, it goes on and on, Dean. You know, you had to vote for Trump, but look what he has done. What a traitor. There is a traitor in this country, and his name is not Thomas Massie.
Get this now. We're getting word now. Trump promised Thomas Massie he would call off the Israel money flowing into his district if he voted for his spending bill. Did he vote for the spending bill?
I have no idea.
He might have, and he might have gotten screwed because they wanted MTG to stay, but she didn't. Okay, so let's take some. In fact, why don't we take a quick break, Jim? I'm sweating profusely.
Sure.
I think I'm melting like the ice caps. Sure. Okay, so
Sure.
Why don't we take a break, and then we have a lot of people who are commenting all over the place. We'll
Right.
attend to that.
Right.
Okay, so stand by there, Jim. Whew. Well, Jim's on fire tonight. Can you believe that? Whew, man, I hate to be on the receiving end of that brunt force, wouldn't you? I don't know what's gotten into him. Anyways, we're going to take this quick break. Jim's going to get some oatmeal cookies, and I'm going to hit the bottle pretty hard. But anyways, when we get back, we want to get all your comments, questions, and conjectures all over the places. We are broadcasting live on Facebook over there at the travel page. Hello, everybody. Okay, so hello to all of you. We're also on Dean Ryan TV on YouTube as well as Rumble. So anyways, okay, we will be back right here, late night update, focusing on the primary elections after this quick message. Don't go anywhere.
The United States would cave in to Iran terror regime that controls now also the Hormuz passway and the terror ring that it created in the Middle East, maybe it would be even worse for any citizens in the world, not only in Israel, but also in the United States. And this is exactly what Donald Trump said. He said that the United States would have been in danger. So you don't believe Donald Trump?
I don't believe Donald Trump, and I also think as an Israeli, you should pause before using the phrase terror regime, since you live in a country that just murdered thousands of children in Gaza. We should all pull back a little bit on the rhetoric that. I'm not defending Iran, but I'm just saying
even the fact
terror
that you want
regime.
me
it's a little hard to hear that from an Israeli right now. I have to say
that you want me to make an equation between democratic government that's acting, maybe not to your taste, but from self-defense, to a terror regime in Iran that is terrorizing its own citizens, that hanging people, gay people from cranes, with the Islamic extremist Sharia, to a democratic country that's abide by international law of self-defense. It's ridiculous. Do you think that Israel and Iran is on the same equation? Really?
I don't think Israel and Iran are the same.
That's what you're saying.
By many measures.
This is exactly why.
I can totally
this is
happy
why
to
people
tell you what I'm
saying
saying, which is
that
this.
you're targeting only Israel, and by that.
Well, of course,
means,
I'm not targeting anybody.
Okay.
I don't have a military. I'm a podcaster, so I don't target people. What I'm saying is true, which is Iran's behavior, the government of Iran's behavior, is in some cases disgusting to me and immoral. But the behavior of the Israeli government in Gaza is disgusting and immoral. And of course, Israel's not a democracy in any sense. There are millions of people who live under Israeli control who cannot vote, right? And so if the West Bank, Judea and Samaria and Gaza, or whatever we're calling these places, which Israel has controlled since 1967, have people living in them who have no control over the government that controls their lives, which is true. It's not a democracy. So let's just drop the talking points. I agree with you on self-defense. I don't think killing children is self-defense. It never will be. And no amount of recounting the legitimate atrocities of October 7th will ever get me to accept this behavior from the Israeli government, from the US government, from the Iranian government, or any government. It's always wrong. And Israel doesn't like to acknowledge the existence of universal principles that apply to everyone equally. That's why they're principles, not preferences. And Israel, again, which I've always liked as a country, has a lot of civilized, decent people living there to this day, has to acknowledge that principles are universal. They apply to everyone, even you, even me. My government, your government, every government. But you won't acknowledge that. It's always like, oh, Iran's bad. Yeah, Iran's bad. But your behavior is bad too.
I want to.
End of story. Wait, so what if I did smoke crack? It's none of your, pardon me, it's none of your freaking business in the first place. You're just jealous nobody wants to do stuff like that with you because you're boring. You're lame. Write that down. End of story. Wait, so what if
I was sexually abused as a child. You know, I mean, that's not an easy thing.
You must have been an attractive young gentleman.
What?
Just I'm gonna leave you with one last thing because we have to.
Oh my God, that never gets old. Oh Lordy. Lordy. We are back. Welcome back, everybody. Dean Ryan here. Dean Ryan here after a really vivacious start to tonight's first half of the show. Late night update. Still Dean Ryan cruising with you to midnight and a little beyond. Following tonight's show, if you are a member, look at your appropriate alleyways. We're going to be conducting a backstage. In fact, we're going to be having an after show, overtime. I haven't done that in a while. An official show. You'll receive a link following this show, which will abruptly end in self-destruct here in just a couple more segments or two. We're going to be taking some of the comments, questions, concerns, conjectures all over the live chats here tonight. And the overtime show following this is going to be on a public channel, but I'm thinking Brighteon may be the appropriate because I have some very colorful words to share following tonight's show. Okay, so let's now continue. And tonight's show is brought to you by the Real Deal Media members, as you saw. Become a visionary debonair and help keep these broadcasts going because they demonetize me, defame me, defang me, and defrock me, and all the other just disses everywhere you can do so by going to realdealmedia.tv, realdealmedia.tv, and yes, get together with me and let's sweat to the oldies together. That's how I see it. And thank you to everyone who has gone to giftsandgo.com/world at war, which will return, I believe, very soon. Also, I want to, I'll tell you the show notes. We have some specials coming up tomorrow night you don't want to miss. And anyways, let's get back to business. Jim, I'm going to welcome you back to the show. Back to late night update. Okay, Jim, we're going to take some comments, questions, concerns from our people from all over the world. Here's Bill Carson, who's really complimentary tonight. He says Jim Fetzer is getting younger. Glad to see Jim is in great health. Yes. The angrier he gets, the younger he gets too. He's about 48 right now. That's how much that works. Misty over there is saying, is both Vanguard and BlackRock located in Israel? I think that's the appropriate way to spell it. Yes, they are. Yes. What's his name? BlackRock. Larry Finkelstein is. Yeah, he is a dual citizen. Okay, we have Lisa Haswell, who is now in Australia. She asked. Lisa says, Australia has the largest uranium reserves on the planet. China. Well, see, that's the thing is they sell it to China and China buys it. It's just shows you how corrupt it is because for the longest time in Australia, their people never paid attention to politics. I remember when I was there 10 years ago, Jim, I asked the people, a couple of friends, the locals in Melbourne, they didn't know who their premier was. They didn't know who represents them. They didn't care. You know, tomorrow's the best day of the week. Okay, so there you have that one. Thank you, Lisa. We hope your travels are good. We have Claudine over there in Australia. She says Trump is sick, psychopath, satanic. Yes, Claudine, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to that. We have Beverly Clow saying Trump's an actor. Okay, we have a lot of people. We have Lynn Marshall Dev listening from Australia. Let's go to Rumble. Here we have Hammer Time over there in Rumble saying fake wars, confusing, smoke and mirrors. We have Lena Star Moon, the Munchkin, saying he's a realist, not an assassin. People are entitled to change their opinion based on such lies. I think they're talking about you, Jim. Then the Munchkin says, Jim's got the vote. You got a voter there, Jim. You have a constituent over there in England, in case you want to run for prime minister. Okay, here's another one. Jeez, just incredible. We have, is Trump still building the ballroom? That's a good question. What do we know about that, Jim?
Yeah. Now he's going to sock the American people $1 billion for the ballroom. Remember, it wasn't going to cost us a nickel. Then he had $300 million in private donations, and they want $400 million from it's up to $1 billion now. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, that's something. Maddie says, Dean, your audio is great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here's another one here. Hammer Time says, why are all the so-called elites in bunkers? Is the alien demon invasion coming to disarm the world? Make it easy for those demons? History shows something happened back then. Jim, you're a demon expert. You want to weigh in on that?
Dean, this whole alien thing just baffles the hell out of me. You know, I think it's the disclosure, I think, is another distraction. He's trying to distract. Get back to the Epstein files. That's why they targeted Massie. He was pushing to get the Epstein files out. Trump doesn't want to do it. He told Marjorie to her face, it's going to hurt his friends. So he didn't want to do it. Well, no one is a bigger friend to Donald Trump than Donald Trump. It's going to hurt him badly.
Clearly, Jim's been abducted by aliens and replaced with that answer. We see here, but I agree with you on that. Here's another one here. We have Misty saying they're all reptiles. Could be. I can't. We have Claudine, who's very pissed. We got criminal control everywhere in the world. They piss shit. You know, it is Taco Tuesday, and I'm no longer hungry. Thank you, Claudine. We have the Watchman saying, Massie losing, Trump staying in power. Devil, high five. Okay, we have another one here. We have eCash over there on YouTube saying, I'm absolutely gutted about the election results. It may as well have been the presidential election. Zero trust in the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Claudine saying Jim is right. Yes. We have the one Peagle. I knew Jim would be mad. I called it. Some people are putting bets on you, Jim. Bill Carson said everybody's pissed. Gee, Bill, what gave that away? Okay. ECAS says, I will write in Thomas Massie's name on the 2028 election ballot, whether he runs or not. And he's the only one strong enough to intelligence.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Jim. Okay. Let's talk about 2028. Okay. And I'm going to make some predictions here as well.
Yeah.
We're going into the midterms here. Okay. We just had the Supreme Court rule, I believe, that I mean, look at the headlines, Jim. I mean, you can't make this up. Here about insider trading. It's so obvious. Even Helen Keller can see it. Why Trump's stock trades are so exceptionally corrupt. The president continues to find a way, unimaginably, to use the powers of the federal government to enrich himself. Look at this. In just this week, we found that first quarter of the year, Trump made more than 3,700 financial trades worth tens of millions of dollars. That averages out to 59 trades a day and 9 trades per hour. The conflict of interest, personal corruption are simply astonishing. The most corrupt president in history. Jim, that is an investigation waiting to happen, which plays into my theory of him purposely playing crazy to either say mental incompetent and or fake his death, but also to enrich himself and his family when
the whole family's involved in this. You know, Donald Jr. owns what, a half interest in an Israeli drone company?
Oh, I know. Yes. No, it's Eric, Jim. It's Eric Trump does, and Don Jr. owns he owns an Israeli media company. He owns half of it. It's called Salem Media. They have to register as a foreign agent. On top of that, you have Barron Trump, who has made $120 million off a lot of the trades we just read about. But Jim, why is that? I say because the brand Trump and the name is tarnished. They're never going to make the kind of money they've been making. So he's going to go. He's cashing out now. Okay, and also here's the big one. He's cashing out now. But I don't see Trump making it to the end of the year because the midterms are going to completely turn it upside down. That's why the chatter around the D.C. Beltway, Jim, I'll get your take on it. June 15th is the 80th birthday of Trump. They're anticipating 100 or more presidential pardons to be coming down the pikeway. And it's said to be that some of those pardons are not only going to be the cabinet, but his own sons, which he criticized Biden for doing the same thing. What's you want to wait on that, Jim?
The man's a massive hypocrite, Dean. Why would we be surprised? And he's only going to give it up if Vance is going to pardon him. I guess he can't pardon himself. If he could, he would for a certainty. It's all a disgrace. It's all a disgrace. U.S. is not just a second world. We're a third world nation now under Trump. As I said before, He's turned the U.S. into a shithole.
Well, yeah. I mean, enough about Detroit, though. Let's move on. We have the Watchman presidential position is for bashing. Yes, I believe so. Mafia. Okay, so I said let's talk about 2028. Jim, the calls for Massie to run in 2028. This is a guy who seems very jovial for just losing, but I'm going to call it right now. I called it 2 years ago. I'm going to say the ticket. Here, you want to say this is getting like the Owen report, Trump bashing. Are you Trump bashing, Jim?
God, no, I'm calling it like I see it. I'd love a
Jim.
Massie Marjorie. I'd love a Massie Marjorie ticket, Dean. That's what I would like.
Jim, you have TDS now. Be careful. You know what? If it's bashing Trump and that hurts your feelings, Egyptian princess who always criticizes me, hey, there's always Nino Bandino to watch. You can go get your opium fix. You know
There's
what?
no
Because
one
a
on
lot of people are
either
hurting.
side. Dean, if you set aside Massie and Marjorie, Tucker, Candace, for example, and these are not conventional politicians, there's nobody on the Democrat or on the Republican side worth a shit. Nobody. God knows it, not Vance. Give me a break.
And you know what, too, Egyptian? You need to stop your Dean Ryan bashing. How about that? If we're Trump bashing, stop Dean Ryan bashing. That's my most important thing. Okay, here's another one here. I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to say Massie Carlson ticket 2028 Libertarian Party. Go ahead, Jim. That's my call for 2028.
I like it. I think it'd be a great ticket.
See?
I think it'd be a great ticket.
We're getting happy. We're getting happy now. I'm making Jim happy.
I think the American people are sick of the Democrats and they're sick of the Republicans. They thought Trump was the real deal. It turned out to be a phony, a fraud, a hypocrite, a liar, a deceiver. He's a total waste. We need a third-party candidate. I like it, Dean. I like it. And the Libertarians are on the ballot in all 50 states. Dean, you picked a winner.
Egyptian, I love you too. I know. I'm just a Shakespearean right now. Okay, so here's a very viable candidate, Jim. I agree with the one Peagle. I think he's onto something. Dan Bonbingo for president. I think that's a good pick. No? Okay. Look at Jim. Okay, I'm sorry, Jim. I learned my lesson. I'll never pick that guy again. All right, here's another one. We have Hammer Time that says, don't forget to wear your crocodile shoes when ballroom dancing with reptiles. That's sound advice. Thank you for that. Yes. We have also the Watchman says, if you love Trump, you can take your jab and shove it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Jim, we're going to end it there. Let me say, as Jim's getting a call from Thomas Massie right now, as he gets calls from the Beltway. Jim, I thought a good way to end tonight was to play the last 3 minutes of Thomas, who I met.
Good.
And he is a guy that really does care about the little people. He loves Dr. Pepper. We learned that. We talked about that briefly. Good. And who doesn't? Jim loves it. So my final thought, Jim, as we play out to the final words of Thomas Massie is, I don't think this is the end for Thomas. I see Tucker and Thomas joining forces together, Jim. I see that coming in, and I feel it in my loins, Jim. I feel it right here. So that's my final word. Final thoughts, Jim, before we play out with Thomas.
Dean, I think the most positive outcome could be a strong third-party ticket. Massie, Tucker, Marjorie, some combination. I think the country would go for it. I think the time has come to give the boot to the Democrats and the Republicans alike. To hell with them. We need a party that stands for us.
That's right. I think we do. That's why Jim and I were going to resurrect the Dixiecrats. I think we're going to do that. The Dixiecrat party, the old Dixiecrat. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're going to get out of here and we're going to play out to Thomas. But before we go, you're going to see me. I think today's Tuesday, so we got World at War tomorrow. Now, that may change. We had Neil Bishop join Mike Adams. We're going to be doing a watch party for that. That's exciting. He's representing all of us here, and that's going to be thrilling. And we're going to learn about the Schofield Bible. That's a lot of fun. Buck, yes, Ross Perot. We need a Ross Perot. I'm with you on that. Okay, so I think that's it. So anyways, you'll see me tomorrow night. And Thursday, we have our college night. You don't want to miss that. And then Saturday, Jim, you want to announce the movie we're going to be watching? It's historic.
Well, it's one of the great war movies of all time. Patton.
Patton starring?
George C. Scott. Absolutely stunning.
I've never seen it. I heard it's really good. So I'm going to watch that. That's Saturday night with the members. Members, hold tight. You're going to have an overtime with yours truly. And maybe Jim will join us. We'll see how he's feeling. He's been, I think I got him happy again. I'm happy thinking about the future. So there it is. Until next time, before Jim Fetzer, Dean Ryan here at Late Night Update signing out. And here's Thomas to really sign us out. Good night, everybody.
One thing I saw on Fox, they were saying, oh my goodness, you know, we're ready for war. We're about to restart this war. We were supposed to restart this war today, but we can't restart this war today. The war can't start today. They said we got to wait a day. And then it occurred to me, where was the Secretary of War yesterday? He was here. Listen. Wait. No. Look on the bright side. No more wars. No more wars. Guys, knock that off. You're going to make me feel good about losing. What I wanted to do was give you all credit. When they saw the influencers here, they panicked. They sent the Secretary of War here, and you stopped the war for a day. All right, we know we don't want a war, and we know why young people are, and middle-aged people are against the next war, because we'd be the ones fighting it. They're trying to bring back the draft. Screw that. We're not going to fight. We're not going to fight some other country's wars, are we? No. What else do we stand for? We don't want to send our money overseas. Okay, I'll go for that. I've got a bill to do that. I've also got a bill to end the Department of Education. Rand Paul says he wants to pass a law that you need one day to read 10 pages of every bill. I asked Rand, what are you going to do about my bill that's one sentence long to end the Department of Education? That'd be like 5 minutes to read that bill. By the way, do you know how many pages the Epstein Files Transparency Act was? 2 pages. We're tired of meddling overseas. We can't afford it. Our empire will collapse if we keep sending our money to other countries. I never picked a fight with the country that's tried to take me out here because I've never voted for foreign aid to any country. We got to take care of America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. America first. By the way, you remember that organization that Klaus Schwab started called the World Economic Forum? They said you should eat bugs. Do you want to eat bugs? No. They said you'll own nothing and be happy about it. You want to do that? No. Well, guess what happened? Guess what happened to Klaus's CEO? He was in the Epstein files. He had to resign. We took out the CEO of the World Economic Forum with a 2-page bill.